No more, no more, no more, no more, no more crumbs.
It's the Value Journey Podcast with Rhonda Jennifer.
No more crumbs. You are royalty, victorious, God's creation. You've been made for so much more. No more, no more, no more, no more, no more.
Often, from our experiences, we are left to feel unworthy, empty, and questioning if we matter. But with God, He reassures us that we do matter, and we do have tremendous value. Have you been conditioned to devalue yourself? Are you settling for a lifestyle of crumbs? Do you question your purpose and value? The No More Crumbs value messages are derived from the Bible story in Matthew 15:25-28, where a woman believed she was only worthy enough to settle for crumbs and never believed she deserved more. Not until she met Jesus. Jesus encouraged her to want more in her life. And with this woman's acceptance of Jesus' love, she was awakened to want better for her life. From this acknowledgement, Jesus commended her on her faith to accept the new truths about herself. The Value Journey podcast is focused on providing supplemental and suggested tools to help you accept the positive truths about yourself and guide you on how to take action steps to activate your truths. God has designed for us all to live a life that is full and enriching. You deserve victories in your life. You are royalty. You are God's creation. You are valuable. Now join me as we grow together with the Value Journey podcast.
Today's guest, I am so excited about because he invited me to be a guest on his podcast, which was my first speaking engagement. He graciously agreed to be the guest on the Value Journey. I introduce to you Robert Timmons, who is an inspirational speaker, artist, coach, and a podcast host of his own show, The Robert Timmons Show. He speaks to inspire the creation of one's life from his own unique experiences. Robert is now a passionate portrait artist named Painter Millionaires, where he creates the very people he receives massive value from. He calls them his virtual mentors. They are some of the greatest entrepreneurs of our day that he also believes are the Renaissance masters of our time. Welcome, Robert.
Thank you, Rhonda. I'm absolutely honored to be on your show here.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. I just value everything that you do because you're a portrait artist, entrepreneur, you're just an activist, and then you're also fitness oriented and very centered on yourself and inspiring others. I know this is going to be an impactful episode, so I want you to share as much as you can. If you want to just start off with what's your drive and what's your passion? How do you convey that to others?
Well, currently my drive and passion are to really go deep into the mindset area of things. I believe the mindset is really fertile ground, the foundation of anything we do in life. Everything in my past has brought me to this point of understanding really as an artist, everything stems to my art. My art is where everything grows. That's what I realized. So in the mindset, it goes to visualization, it goes to creating action. Those are my key things that I am totally involved with now, that I am in depth learning on a daily basis with everything. You talk about me being an exercise and that is a mindset thing as well, because when I'm doing 61 days straight of 12 plus miles a day, on top of that's only one aspect of it, but that just shows you're pushing your mind, you're pushing your activity, because the beginning's great. You know, the beginning is motivation. Oh, this is fun. I'm doing 12. I got 3 days in a row. I got 5 days. I got 7. But when you get up to the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, it's starting to say, it's raining out. You know, it's 9, 10 at night, you know, but that's the time where you got to shine. Those are the lows of the day, and your mind's telling you, you did 30 days already. You're okay. You don't need to do any more. But I didn't know where I was going to end on that, you know, with my 61 days. But it was more, I started to see how it was affecting my body, what I needed to do, how to adjust it. So I started advancing in that way. But we can get more into that later. But yeah, mindset is my key thing, because as an artist, I want to gravitate onto powerful skills that I'm learning in art. I'm building how I talk to people, how I share things is really how I paint. Because what I've learned in my art is I have a powerful skill of visualization. That skill I never really knew I had, but I've also learned that we all have it. And that is the cool part about it. But as an artist, I am pushing it on a daily basis. I am pushing it to continually put out my art, first off. But when I look back at my old art, when I was artist for the ocean, I realized that my art was bringing me through a ton of different journeys. It was because of the visualization practice, because visualization is so powerful that it brings you to the places that you want to go before you get there.
That's screaming audaciously, I guess, dreaming. You're giving yourself options.
Exactly. It's imagining, it's dreaming. But the cool thing about being an artist is I can paint animals and people anywhere I want, right? I can manipulate where they are on my canvas and create that. But you can also do that in your mind. You can take yourself from where you are and you can put yourself in a higher vibrational area. Say you want a big house, you can put yourself in a big house, for an example, and then you can manifest that big house because you put so much emotion in building and designing the bricks and the detail in it and the colors and the grass, the lawn, the car, everything that you put in there. As an artist, I have to research everything. I have to feel it. I have to be there. That is the cool thing about mindset. And that's what I'm realizing. And the more I understand how I can focus down onto one thing and what that one thing can grow from, that's where I'm like, I need to learn more about this.
Can you explain more about that on how you can visualize it, get it in your mind, and then it comes to pass? How does that go about? How do you have to prepare yourself?
First, you have to realize that you can do it, because a lot of people, when you talk about creativity and art and that, they instantly think of the physical things. They instantly think that I cannot paint, I cannot draw, I can only do a stick man. But they don't realize that in your mind, I can say a word to you and that word can instantly bring up an image. It could bring back a memory. And that memory, your memories are images, right? And then when you think of that image enough, it becomes an emotion. And you start going, oh, I remember that. I remember how it felt. I remember hugging and crying. And so that right there is creation. And that's a creation I'm talking about. That's telling you that you can create. Now that's a memory. So that's something you've already banked into your body, for an example. But those things, your mind, reticular activating system is what it's called. It filters things. So when you've banked that, but now you can say, okay, I want to think about this. I want to create me with a pool, with a 4-bedroom home and 3 bath. And I want this type of, yard, and I want this type of car. Your reticular activating system is your program. It's your filtering system that will tell you, it doesn't know if what you're imagining or what you are experiencing is real or not. It just knows that that's what you're thinking. And because you're thinking that, it will start filtering that. We all have that power to connect things that we want if we use it wisely. If not, it's just going to do it. Like if you're exposed to something traumatic, you're going to start seeing traumatic things everywhere because your filtering system is saying, hey, this is what you're emotionally excited about right now, either good or bad. And then it's going to bring more of that. If you're down on yourself, depression, anxiety, and you're always worrying about things, well, your filtering system is going to bring you more stuff to worry about. Not what you really want. You think if you're worrying and you're thinking about it, that it's going to go away, that you're dealing with it, but you're not. You're actually bringing more in.
Exactly.
It's very powerful. And it's something that I am really working on and going really deep into, not only for myself, but so I can help others expose that creativity in them. As an artist, my objective, my mission is to allow people to experience creation within themselves, to paint the best picture of their life is really what I want to do.
I think that's so inspiring. And do you get inspiration from the portraits that you make, from the individuals that you select?
Well, when we're talking about the portraits are, I'm painting millionaires.
Yes.
How people go, like, what I love is when a person changes things. So before I was an artist for the ocean, and before that I was like a confused artist, which a lot of people are, because I didn't know what I know now then, in a sense, right? So when I was became artist for the ocean, I was I was finding ways to give voices to the ocean animals, right? I was telling their story. By doing that, people started to say, what are you doing? Who are you? You're changing. You're not the same person. Why are you acting like you're Greenpeace? Why are you going after this? Why'd you change your diet? Why are you vegan now? I was just changing so fast, but I was so excited. I was passionate. Now I'm painting millionaires because they're providing me value that I want to share. I want to learn and I want to share it. So in order to get that value, I have to research them. I have to read their books. I have to watch their videos. I have to follow them. I get right into their funnels and I check them out and I see what they're offering. What courses do they have? I get right involved. I know who we're friends. I see them interviewing each other like we're doing. You're on my show. Now I'm on your show. So they're doing that too at a higher vibration. I'm just seeing the patterns. I'm listening to them. I'm hearing all their different stuff. So it's bringing so much value to me, and whatever value I can ingest and take is the value that I can give as a service to others.
I agree. And are there certain characteristics or traits that you draw from them that you could share that we can implement and use?
Oh, morning routines are huge.
Mm-hmm.
They all have a morning routine. They all talk about that because, a lot of people say, I only have 24 hours. How do they do all this? I don't have time. Priorities, of course, are number one. You bring things up to higher priority in order to get them done, depending on what you want. But you can wake up earlier. And by waking up earlier, you're being purposeful for the day. You're actually saying, hey, I'm going to roll out of bed at 5 a.m. So that gives me 3 hours before I have to start work. And that allows me to do so much more in that 3 hours. And then you plan that 3 hours. When you wake up, have a meditation. They all meditate in some manner. They all write down and read their goals. They all visualize their goals and their day. They plan out their day. Those are huge key things that I have implemented in my life because I find so much value to them. And they have improved everything because there's times that I was having such bad days. I was having so much friction going on with me and my wife and my job and everything was going on. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do here? I took on meditation and I started listening to these guys and I started implementing. Then all of a sudden I was saying, well, this is how my day is going to go. So I was creating my day through my mind, through my visuals, through whatever I may have known was happening that day. If I had a meeting or something, who I was going to meet with. And I created everything in my mind before it even happened in that day. And my days ended up turning out to be as calm as can be.
Oh my goodness.
And I thought, okay, first times, yeah, let it go. But after months and months of this continuously happening, I thought, this is cool.
Yes.
I am literally creating and painting my life here.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, anytime I talk to someone, I say, are you meditating?
Mm-hmm.
Because meditation, there's so many different ways. There's so many different aspects of it. And they all do different things, of course. They all have their own. And I took on a 6-phase meditation, which I absolutely love. It consists with compassion. It consists with gratitude, forgiveness. Then it goes into your future within 3 to 5 to 10 years, whatever you want to, what goals you have. Then it goes to your day. So you're planning out your day. And then you're asking for a blessing to the universe or to whoever you would like to ask for, to say, give me what I've, expressed or better, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So we have limitations on how we think because we only know what we know.
Mm-hmm.
So until we learn and become aware of other things, then we can expand that growth of how we think. But because we ask for or better, the universe, God, whoever you speak with can give you more, because they are the ultimate infinite power, the energy that is pure, right? And that's what we're all aiming to be a part of, is that pure energy,
Yes.
the happiness. We're always driving ourselves towards that happiness any way we can.
Right. I love that. But then I was also thinking, what keeps you motivated? Because you said like some days it may be raining or a little too cold. And so how do you stay in consistency, stay consistent to continue to build upon it?
Well, it's not motivation. It's
Not, no,
discipline. It's
it's
discipline.
discipline. Okay.
Absolutely. When you make a goal, you have to be disciplined in that goal. You have to say, no, you don't negotiate your goals.
Okay.
You say, this is what I said I was going to do. I'm setting out to do this. I must do it. Those are the days you learn more than anything. And you're controlling your life. You're taking control, and your body has its own mind too, right? We store so much baggage there, and luggage and dirt, but also good stuff. But it wants you to stay safe. It's your primitive mind part, right? Really, it wants you to stay safe. It wants to, you to be relaxed and calm, and like we're not being chased by dinosaurs anymore, right? So now we have to learn to take control. I was just talking to, I just interviewed this amazing neuroscientist yesterday, really. And we were talking about the reticular activating system because, like I said, I want to learn more. So I'm like, why not learn from a guy who's actually studying it? So let's bring him on the show and let's learn.
Well,
Not only me, but everybody else who's going to listen to it. And he talked about when we consciously take control and say, for example, we listen to our breath. Our breathing happens automatically. Like if we choose not to think about it, it automatically happens.
yes.
But when we choose to think about it, he says that's first off the way to get inside of yourself. So you follow your breath in. So now you're inside yourself. But it also activates the primitive brain. So when it activates, the reticular activating system is engaged. It starts engaging your entire mind. So now you've woken up your entire mind because you're consciously creating action that you are doing on purpose.
I like that.
Because a lot of us, not a lot, almost all of us run automatically. Now there's great things for that when we create habits that are good for us, but when we have habits that are bad for us, which a lot of us do, and as we learn, hopefully we're removing and adjusting and taking those out. Just knowing that you can ignite your mind by consciously creating choices, by purposely saying, I'm doing this, your filtering system wakes up and it says, oh, okay, what do you want? Almost like it's there to serve you when you awaken.
Wow.
Yeah, I find that very powerful myself.
I like that. So do you incorporate the breathing into your 6 phase in the morning? Or is that just a suggestion you were giving?
No. When you're relaxing your body, you're definitely breathing deep, and it's belly breathing. It's not shallow breathing, which a lot of us do, is up in the chest. You want to breathe right down into your belly. You want to expand your belly. You want to feel it. And the cool part is, I'm an ocean guy. I was born on an island on the east coast of Canada, and when I breathe, I start hearing the ocean. If anybody's listening, when you really want to take this in, just think about it. When you breathe in and you hold for a moment and then you breathe out, it's like the shoreline of a beach, for an example. So it brings you to where a lot of us like to be, sitting on the beach, listening to the ocean, and we become, engaged with it and relax, and everything goes away. And that's kind of where we want to be. We want to relax our body so our mind can start doing what it needs to do. Because when the body always wants to take control, the body wants you to sit, wants you to do nothing, wants you to eat, the body doesn't want to do anything. So you have to take control. And I find that to be very exciting, to understand that you have control first off, and then taking control, right? And it takes time if you're not there yet, because it's taken me many years to get to where I am today.
But at least you haven't given up. And now you're disciplining yourself now with challenging yourself with the mileage you're putting on with biking
and even exercising. So does that help as well? I believe it will help the mind and emotions and
Oh,
creating
absolutely.
discipline, right? Creating greater
Well,
discipline.
you got to keep the body healthy. Your body is your earthly temple in a sense, right? If your body's not healthy, your mind's not healthy because it feeds your mind with the blood and the oxygen and everything it needs. So everything needs to be in balance to be ultimate, in what you want. It's not just about living longer, it's about living better,
Yes.
right? Like we all have a number that we don't know,
Yes.
So we want to think every day is very precious.
Right.
Staying healthy is extremely, because we want to feel good on a daily basis,
Exactly.
right? So if it's walking, if it's running, if it's biking, pick something that excites you.
Yes.
Don't go do something that you go, oh, I hate this, why am I doing this? Because you're not going to last.
Yeah.
You want to think the longevity of it. You want to make sure that it's going to last you years, because I'm still active on a daily basis. I'm still I'm now this month for 3 months or 61 days, I rode 12 miles plus a day. I think I did almost 800 miles or something like that.
Awesome.
But now I've added in running, and running and biking are two different things.
Okay.
So now I'm alternating. I'm riding, cycling 12 plus miles, no matter what. And I'm now running 2 miles.
Awesome.
So right now, this month, I'm adjusting, and I've taken on lunges. I've taken on a whole bunch of other things because I'm looking at my body and I'm saying, okay, what do I need? Where do I need to get a little stronger?
Yes.
And I've taken a little bit at a time. And I just heard this gentleman speak on a video that I just watched. And he talks about extremism in things. We think, okay, for an example, people want to go to the gym, but they go, I can't afford 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't go.
Right.
He goes, well, go one day.
True.
Then go one day. And they go, but that's not enough. I need to go 3 in order for it to work. Well, you know what? If you go one day, you soon will get that 3 days because you're going to see the value of it. And working out changes your way of eating. You start going, wow, I'm working out. I need to eat better here.
Mm-hmm.
I need to, get things in me that give me that fuel that, gets me to do a little bit more of that climb or whatever I'm doing. But he says a lot of people, they say if they're not at the pro peak level, that they choose not to do it at all. And it's almost, that's the ego, I think, playing in there, because the ego either wants to be the top or it shows you you're the bottom.
Yeah, right.
And it plays with your mind, your emotions, and everything. And that too, you can take control of. And that's where mindset comes in. Like I said, mindset's in everything.
Yeah. And it must be rewarding for you to get up to 12 miles and now start the running. So I feel that even you have to push through the pain. So how do you do that? How do you keep going to stretch yourself?
I surround myself with some amazing people. I'm in a group that people are doing ultras, they're doing 100 miles, they're doing so many incredible things. One guy just broke a Guinness Book of World Records in there too for pull-ups. Like I surround myself with these people knowing that there could be an ultra in my future. So I'm like, instantly my mind just started training. I just started training, and I've always worked out on and off my whole entire life. I've always been in shape in some manner, but I've never taken it to the extremes that I'm on. And I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited. There are times when I bike, sometimes the wind's hard, so I'm pedaling even harder. I don't bike to do a free, relaxing ride. I bike full tilt all the time. I'm riding. I gotta do my 12 miles, and it's taken me as low as 43 minutes, as high as 51 minutes, depending on the weather, time, and everything else. Those times, what I've learned, the power of word. The power of spoken word can do a lot. When you feel pain, suffering, challenges, you just say you're outstanding. I feel outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
And in my case, I say I'm a powerful mindset machine.
Awesome.
That's what I say, which is why I created this hat, Mindset Machine. Just saying that, you feel the vibration going through your body. It's taken away everything.
Yeah.
And you just keep going. And you just keep going. And the funny part is, especially with running is a lot more of a challenge to me, especially right now. That's why I'm only doing 2 miles, and I do it. My goal is not to stop within that 2 miles, even if my calves start hurting or whatever it is. When you start feeling that pain,
Yes.
Like anything in life, when you get into those challenging areas and you decide that you're not going to stop, you decide that you're going to push through, all of a sudden it disappears.
Yeah.
Those thoughts are gone. That challenge is gone because you've accomplished it, but yet you're still doing the same thing. It's another way of you pushing with your mindset. You're training your mind that this is how it is and this is the way it's going to go, right? So I start off saying, I'm doing 2 miles, I'm not stopping, I'm going to make it happen. Where I'm collecting data on that is time. So I'm seeing how fast I do my first mile and how fast I do my total 2 miles.
Okay.
And then I can say if I'm increasing and getting better and better. In that case, you can also look at your heart rate. And they always say, stay within your heart rate, which in a lot of cases, it's 140 beats per minute. By staying there, you're going to get faster in your time, but you're also staying relaxed with your heart rate and you're not overdoing yourself, because a lot of us overdo, like we get into that extreme and burn ourselves out. And then, and you're not going too low. So you're at least working your heart out and your cardio.
Because there, like you said, the extreme, and then you feel the pain, and then you don't want to do it anymore.
Right.
Take off a few days, and then it runs into weeks. So yeah, staying motivated is so important. And I agree with the affirmations that you have to speak over yourself and speak out loud, because there are so many things that distract us, come against us to make us feel insecure and doubtful. So those affirmations are certainly important. Yes.
Absolutely. What I help people do is create a blueprint of their future self. So who are they becoming, right? Because we all want to know who we are. Who am I?
Yes.
And then when they figure out who they are or who they think they are, they feel that that's who they are and that's it, right? So I'm a sailor and that's all I'm ever going to do. I'm going to sail boats, that kind of thing. That mentality is like a fixed mindset. Meaning, like my mom says, I'm fixed to my ways.
Yes.
This is all I do.
Yeah.
And that's all she does. And that's okay. She's older now, and I'm not here to adjust her.
Right.
But I want people to understand that, people they feel that they don't have purpose, right? And because they don't have purpose, they feel they're stuck in where they are and they're stuck in their ways and they're not going anywhere. And because they're doing that, like we talked about the reticular activating system, they're going to get more of that. When the times are bad, that's when you really got to utilize that skill of visualization. You got to utilize that filtering system that you have, and you have to use belief to pull yourself out of there and move forward. So when things hit the fan, don't get into the worrisome, don't get into all that. Start thinking, okay, things always work out for me. I'm going there. I'm moving. I'm already there. And we want to think that way. So we create this blueprint that allows someone to know where they are, how they dress, how they look, how they feel. We create this amazing purpose blueprint for their lives so they can have something to drive for on a daily basis. Honestly, mine was to work out every day.
Okay.
Mine, I had that in mind, but I didn't start it. I didn't put action to that right away. But you do it enough, you listen to it enough, all of a sudden, those opportunities come into your life.
Yeah.
I always tell people, when you get an opportunity, you got to take it. That opportunity leads to another, leads to another, leads to another.
Yes.
Never know where they go. And you know what? It's fun.
Yes.
Life is fun when you take these opportunities that are so new to you. We're here to learn and grow. That's the whole key of what I want. Mindset is like a fertile ground, and you're planting seeds in it. My objective is to plant positive seeds.
Yeah.
So you can grow into what makes you happy, and what makes you happy makes people around you happy, or you surround yourself with other happy people.
I agree.
You don't have to force yourself to be around family. I say family's blood, but there is family that isn't blood.
Yeah.
And sometimes they are more important in your life because they were brought to you so you can learn more from them.
Yes.
Life's incredible if you take it in that manner. If you change the scope of it, change the lens, and all of a sudden you see things that you're like, I didn't even know that stuff was there. right? Like stop and smell the flowers that you've been passing by like probably 30 years. And all of a sudden you look down and go, where'd that one come from? You start seeing things that you're just like, you become more grateful for it. And
Yeah.
gratitude is huge. What you're grateful for, you get more of, because you're telling your reticular activating system, we're going to go back to that because it's so key to this. You're telling it, this is what I love. So it's going to show you more of what you love. If you say, this is what I hate, it's going to show you more of what you hate. You know, if you're having a bad day in the morning and then all of a sudden you're yelling at someone, well, it's going to give you more stuff to yell about.
Yeah.
It's impressive, and it's a learning, it's a challenge, and challenges are meant to grow us no matter what.
And you have to be willing to want to do the work, because if you're set in a fixed mindset, it's hard to break that cycle, because you find yourself murmuring or complaining about something when you should be grateful. You don't see the flowers or the birds chirping in the air. And when we do take that time, like you said, to activate and take a appreciation of what is around us, it changes our perspective. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And
No,
I
it's
think you
amazing.
convey that also in your paintings, because you're choosing these millionaires that have distinct characteristics that are conveying what you want to share with the audience. Each one has their own inspiring aspirations to share, so that's important.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, I don't know if I got to it, but when I mention millionaires, people go, why are you painting millionaires? Like, people have a negative tone for money. And when you say millionaires, I put millionaires out because I want it to feel good in my life. Money is a friend of mine. Money allows me to give more. I've done a lot of volunteering in my life, and that's what the Artists for the Ocean was a part of. It got me into the volunteer world. It made me travel around the world. I was protecting ocean animals, dolphins being killed in Japan, seals being killed in Canada. I was surrounded by so much of that pain and suffering, but also so many amazing, passionate people that wanted to change things. So when I got into millionaires, a lot of these people are like, whoa, these people are evil. Like, millionaires are not nice and this and that. But I'm like, who donates to these organizations? The one organization I helped, all the ships were named after millionaires because they were the ones that donated enough to buy the ship to help them save the animals.
Wonderful.
So this negative evilness on money is nothing more than someone's own perception of their lack of what they don't have and what they really do want. However, because they put the lack on it, they're not going to get it, because if we go back to the reticular activating system, as we have in ourselves, we're telling it, we don't want any of that. That's bad. That's evil. So we're not allowing that into our lives. We're creating a resistance to it. And because we have a resistance, it cannot flow. Energy is flowing. Energy is a river. It's a lake. It's an ocean, and it needs to flow. And if we create resistance and walls, we create our own resistance and walls. We're stopping the flow of what we really want. In a lot of ways, I always talk about we need to reverse everything we think about, honestly, because it seems that how we were brought up from our past, which we are engaged with, is affecting us it's the opposite to really how these millionaires think. So when I started painting the millionaires, people are, really put it into their own perception of what they're lacking from the word millionaire. When I try and explain that they give me value, these are not regular, ordinary millionaires. These are people trying to help people like myself adjust and change their minds so they can have more of the riches that they want in their life. And that riches could be being closer to family if they're far away, being able to travel, being able to give more. And like I said, I volunteered so much. My objective is now to reverse the roles and be able to actually give money and value to the world instead of giving all my time to volunteering, which I've done. I've done 6-7 years of that. But I learned a lot. I'm taking those skills that I learned, and now I'm putting them into these paintings in a sense that I'm building the life skills to help and empower others. Because if you're a coach or not a coach, we're always teaching people no matter what we say, right? Our parents, you can call them parents or you can call them coaches, because they're really coaching and mentoring you as you grow up. They may not have had the best coaches and mentors. That alone is where some of us have to break the chain in order to advance ourselves up a little higher. And it takes listening to certain people, influencers like these people here, Jay Shetty and Bob Proctor, I have here behind me, to open up our minds.
Yes.
So we can move forward, so we can empower ourselves and say, wow, I never thought about that. Let's try this. Don't just listen. Don't just read. You need to implement. Action is the key to everything. Knowledge, they say, is power, but it's not powerful without action.
Right.
Because the action is where you learn, because it doesn't go the same as the theory. Theory is great to have. It's a good starting point, but you need to implement it and test it and see if it works in your life.
Yes.
Right? Not everything works. So that's why I read these guys' books. I see the patterns and I start playing with them and seeing what works. When I start feeling I'm procrastinating about things, I say, okay, now it's time to adjust, because I'm the same as anyone else.
Yeah.
And then I have to adjust myself and fix. But as long as I'm doing it for the better, and I recognize, that's the key, is when you recognize and you become aware of what you're doing, your actions, your words, and then you go, oh, I need to stop that. I need to adjust that. I need to change that. Now you're telling your mind more and more and more that this is what you want, and you're adjusting, and you're more awake.
Yes.
To your daily events and what you do.
I agree. And Jay, him and his wife, they do meditation in the morning, which I noticed.
Oh, yes.
Which is really like powerful. And she says that it really sets their day. And it's so important to do it early in the morning. That's more focused time. He used to be a monk, I believe. And
he just put out a book too, Think Like a Monk.
Yeah.
He's promoting it right now.
Right. So, I mean, they come from all different backgrounds. I know that some may have come up through struggle, and people don't realize that. And like you say, they have a good heart. And I think the way you manage money is the way your heart is, because money isn't always evil. It's just the way you handle it.
Well, money has no evil or
No.
good to it. It's how you handle it. Exactly. Right. There is nothing. That's why I try and tell people, but they always say, yeah, money's evil. Well, money's going to accentuate who you are.
Yes.
If your character is about being evil and you get a lot of money, well, you're going to do a lot more evil things, right? So it's who you are. And you're right. It's with your heart. If your heart's good and you get a lot of money, well, you're going to be good with it. Now, mind you may give it all away,
right.
One thing, and then you may want more of it, but you got to be smart about it too, in some manner, and that's, I'm learning from those kind of people too, financial, everything, the more I can better my life and understand, the more I can help others better their lives and understand.
I agree. We need a community to get help in different aspects. We learn as we grow and growing, you want to continue to grow and develop.
Absolutely.
You want to share some of the skills that you were learning from the volunteering that you've carried over?
Oh, absolutely. So when, you're thinking, what can I do? Everybody's trying to niche down into things, and they're trying to figure out, who am I? What do I have? What skills do I have? I realize I have a lot that I'm like, okay, how do I utilize this stuff? Right. I was always thinking, well, how can I use my volunteer stuff? What did I learn there? Well, I learned public speaking. There was a time, my first objective, I watched a documentary called Shark Water. And I ended up becoming really good friends with the guy who made it, because he was from Toronto, where I was living at the time. And at that moment, I went to the big city to say, what can the big city do for me? You see all these movies, people go to the big cities and they become like weirdos and stuff. And they go, become eccentric in some manner, or they become rich, and I'm like, I want to push my art. My whole objective is push my art. Let's go to this big city. Let's find out what's going on. I thought, okay, I need to get in a gallery. I need to get this. I need to get that. And I was, all over the place, didn't know where I was. I was confused. I'm painting, nature, and I'm doing all this other stuff, and I'm doing hands that I guess people say are very hard to do. I can do them very well. And I'm just like painting hands. I was having fun. And then I saw that documentary. My goodness, my whole body became not necessarily enraged, but filled with energy of, you got to do something about this. These sharks are being killed. Their fins are being cut off. They're thrown in the water. They're drowning alive. And the fins were more valuable than the shark being alive to these people. And what I realized in that movie, that the sharks were more valuable to protecting the ocean to give us our second breath. Every second breath comes from the ocean. A lot of people think it's just the forest, it's the land. But there's a lot of plant life in the ocean that gives a lot more oxygen. When you kill the apex predator, you allow everything else to multiply to the point that it goes out of balance, and it pretty much will diminish itself. So I took that on, painted it. I came to a point where I felt I needed to go further. And I found a local animal rights organization in Toronto that were just incredible. They were like, hey, what do you want to do? They wanted me to be their international director of campaigns, because I had created a massive network of global people in regards to sharks and whales and everything else. I'm like, well, I don't know. They said, well, we're going to make you that international director of campaigns. If you're not interested later, you just let us know. Cool thing was, as someone being an artist, I like to create things and I like to go after things. They supported everything that I wanted to do. So they were at that moment more about land animals, farm animals and stuff. They took on sharks. So we end up 9 months later winning a campaign across Canada that shut down shark cartilage in Canada from one type of brand. Now there's a couple other brands, but we got one to shut down. And it was because we brought divers in, and we brought biologists and, marine biologists and everything were a part of our network, that when we got an open door into this organization through someone talking to us, we were able to educate them on what was really happening and where they say they were so-called harvesting the shark. So within that world, I not only learned leadership, I learned public speaking. So the one night I was having a showing, there was supposed to be a lady that was supposed to talk. I had, we were in the University of Toronto, and we had a professor there that I befriended who wanted to help, and he gave me the room. We had about 90 people show up. He said, well, the lady didn't show, so you're the speaker. And I was like, what? I spoke a bit in college. I hated speaking in grade school, but college kind of gave me a little bit of a understanding that I can talk with a photo or a picture up, but don't tell me to memorize and hold a paper. If I hold paper, I'm done. If I can just talk from my heart like I'm doing now, I can talk and I can enjoy it. So I said, it took me 3 to 5 minutes, and I'm like, all right, I got to do this no matter what. Well, I didn't realize that was going to be a major breaking point of a ceiling that I didn't know was there. I stood up and I talked. I enjoyed it. I got the information out. We had a march coming up. We ended up getting 70 people at like minus 12 Celsius, because it's Canada. I think it might be like close to 0 Fahrenheit here. They came out, and we had, we did a march for the sharks through Chinatown, where they do a lot of shark fin soup. It was incredible. So from there, I became a part of an organization, and I helped many charitable organizations. I did 69 events in 4.5 years. I was doing events anytime I had time off from work, 2 weeks. I was doing like 4 events. Now these events, I had to bring the merch. I had to organize the volunteers. I had to set it up. I had to talk to people. I had to talk to people to get the events. So I learned a lot of networking. I learned leadership. I learned how to lead passionate people, which is very difficult to some people. You're not a manager, you're a leader. So being a leader, you have to listen to your people and figure out, what are they good at? Where do I want to position them so they're happy and they keep coming back? Because with volunteers, if you don't make them happy, and you shatter that passion
Yeah.
because it's so delicate, they're gone
Right.
and they're not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got good volunteers, I absolutely loved them. And I did want them to go a little bit up, a little higher. And I started, ones that could take on leadership. I was getting them to lead, and we were expanding from Toronto, and we were going to other cities around Ontario, up in Canada there. So we were growing, and it was so exciting. I learned so, and that's when I look back, I go, that my art got me in here.
Yeah.
Because I not only started with sharks, I did whales, I did dolphins, I started traveling to Japan, I started, doing all these things. I was giving away my art everywhere to raise money for all these organizations, and they were going for thousands of dollars in some places, just prints.
Yes.
It was just exciting to see. So I look back and I'm like, my goodness, I learned a lot of amazing things that you couldn't learn in school. They could tell you how to do it and teach you how to do it. But when you're actually doing it, and you're doing it from the grassroots up, meaning I had no teachers, I had no one, I had to find my way. And when people realized what I was doing and what I was passionate about and who I was helping, they were like, I was starting to see people in airports going, "Oh, you're with that organization? Hey, what have you done? Where have you been?"
Right.
And it was just so exciting. I would go places. I remember me and my wife, we went up to Algonquin Park in Ontario, which is, I've never been there my whole life. It's probably 3 hours from where I was living. But when you're close to something, you don't go.
Right.
So we go up there, and we're in this secluded area, but it's like a hostel. So other people from all over the world. And we're sitting there at this table, and we're eating with these people. And one lady looked at me and goes, "You're artists for the ocean, aren't you?" I'm like, wow. My wife's like, "Oh my God, everywhere we go, someone knows them." It was exciting and fun. I'm still connected with all those people, but I changed my niche to match where I am today. As an artist, you always go where your heart is. And right now, my heart is to learn as much as I can to help provide a massive service to others in order so I can grow and become more for these charitable organizations. I've reversed the role. Instead of being a volunteer, now I want to be the businessman so I can give back in a different way at a greater scale, because money is key to a lot of these organizations. Time is great, but my time is worth a lot more if I can use my skills in a different manner and put it out there. So that's kind of how I reverse things. So now I'm surrounding myself around these millionaires. In a sense, I'm getting up in their vibration, and I'm learning their skills to improve what I've already learned in the field of volunteering, which I believe everybody would benefit from volunteering, as long as they're around good leaders, of course, because not everybody's a good leader, and they may be put in a position that they're not good at. And hopefully someone recognizes that, or when people start jumping ship, you need an adjustment. But absolutely. Yeah. Volunteering is very, very good.
Yeah. And I see the evidence in your life, and how much you're doing, and you are leading and teaching. So that's inspiring. That's so inspiring.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
What takeaways could you give someone to get started? They're contemplating, they don't know what to do. What would you advise?
Well, if we just go write down your goals, find out where you're going, really plan, because I think a lot of us don't plan where we're going. We wake up every day and we think, oh, well, all of a sudden the day's over. Then you feel like you've done nothing, right? You have no wins. But if you woke up every day and you wrote out and read your goals, 3 to 5, just maybe even 1, just think of something that you really want to accomplish, and make sure it's something that takes growth.
Yes.
Meaning you need to go out and learn something, or you need to go find people within that. You need to, because you don't want something that you can get next week. Right. I'm going to get an interview at this place because someone at that place. Right. So those aren't the type of goals that you want. You want something that makes you grow into a new vibration, become a new person. And if you write those down every morning, and we take in the act of, read each goal now, but feel them.
Okay.
Feeling is the secret sauce. We can all read, but when we feel it, now we're ingesting that goal. Now we're taking it inside of us. And we're feeling it, whatever that goal is. Maybe you want to be on a sailboat going around the world, for example. Now you feel that water splashing on you. You see the sun shining on you. You feel the wind and the movement of the sailboat, and you hear the laughter of your friends, and you have your family there, and maybe you have your pet dog, who knows. But you want to feel it. You want to feel it, and you want to, really envision, like put so much detail and color and smells if you want. Get your senses involved, because when we go in through a traumatic experience, all that stuff happens instantly, and that's why those memories get stored so deep, because you've put so much emotion, everything into it. Like all your senses are involved in every memory that you have instilled into your body. So we want you to learn how to do that in a way that it's controlled. This is what you want. And like I said, your mind doesn't know if it's real or fake. That's the best part. When you imagine something, it's as if it already happened. And because you put yourself in that position, it now needs to come to form. So, and that's where you're attracting it. So when you write down your goals, do it twice in the morning and do it at night, and just take 5 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever, to each one, just to quickly imagine. Because as an artist, I can get 5,000 images instantly when I get an idea.
Yes.
Like it just flies through my head from inception to where it could take me.
Wow.
And people don't, believe me, I've said it to people and they've popped my bubble, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to say anything anymore. So if you can
I believe it.
if you can just take a second and just, really ingest that and take it in, it's amazing. And then you need to take action. So you're visualizing it, you're putting emotion to it, and then now you gotta go out and do things towards it. Things just don't come. It's not like law of attraction kind of put it out. You just think it and it happens. It's a little bit of it, but you don't just think it, you don't just feel it. Now you need to go after it. Now, the best part about this is because you put in the visual and you put in the feeling, you've been there.
Okay.
Right? So because you've been there, now you're attracting it. And now your reticular activating system, as we'll talk about, is starting to filter in ways to get there. So it's starting to give you those stepping stones. It's starting to give you those opportunities, those coincidences, those serendipities are coming.
Yes.
And that's those things you got to listen to. And those help you take action. So because you've done that, now you've created your opportunities to come to you. Now, a lot of people think, I need to go here, so I need to go do 10 years of school. I need to go do this. So now they've stretched what they want to do, but it's going to take, 20 years to get there.
Yes.
That's because they've taken it on the more materialistic manner,
Okay.
more the reality that we see. But when you go inside and you actually are there, and you feel it and you love it, you've cut that time to get it.
Okay.
You cut that time by so much. Now, how long it takes, it all depends on the size of the goal. It all depends on that, because I've had things happen. Vision boards are great.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Absolutely. Put your goals up on a vision board. I even read a book, I can't remember the name of it, but it was teaching you how to create a vision book. So each page was a page that you would look at, and you would feel that emotion on every page. And you would do that, on a daily basis, which is pretty much what a vision board is. So if your goals are on a vision board, you'd say you want a car, say, anything material, and then, say something else. Maybe you just want to feel good in a, something, you want to lay on a beach, those things can happen too. I put on my vision board that we were going to move. We were over in Florida at the time. And this is cool because I always say I wanted to travel, right? Yeah. And I wanted to travel for free. Well, I ended up becoming a flight attendant over in Florida without realizing, like, I never wanted to be a flight attendant. I just never had it in my mind. But all of a sudden the opportunity came, and I was I was personal training at that time, coaching people for exercise and stuff and getting them healthy. And I thought, well, maybe that, I get travel. We can travel around the world for nothing or, next to nothing. But I also, I'm still providing a service.
Yeah.
It's safety. I'm helping people. So I thought, well, let's take it. Let's take it. It was 2 weeks of the most intense training I've ever been in. Loved it. I made it. I started flying around Florida, the Bahamas.
Wonderful.
We were getting pregnant, and we needed more money because this
Right.
wasn't giving me a lot of money. It was fun and exciting, but it wasn't where we needed to be. And all of a sudden, I had a job over in California. Well, I got free travel. So I flew over to do the interview, flew back, and I flew back over to do something else. And I flew back all for free.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, well, this is cool because I always wanted to travel for free. So here we go. I get the job, right? So I put on the vision board that we were going to move on February 1st of 2017, I think it was. This job I got at the beginning of December, and I had to travel over. So I drove the car over by myself, loaded up. Then I flew back a few weeks later and I loaded up everybody else. And this was in January. By the time my wife made it to our new home in California, it was 2 weeks before February 1st, 2017, when I said that we were moving into our new place. It just blew my mind. And it just shows you, like, it's incredible when you collect data by creating vision boards. It's like collecting data of your thoughts of what you're thinking about, and you're lessening the resistance to it. Boom.
It just happened.
There it was.
Yeah.
And you don't know. And it was 2 weeks before. Sometimes I always say by the time I reach goals, I've already surpassed it by like a mile.
Right.
Right? You don't realize, whoa, my goal was like way back there. I'm already like flying over it. Like,
yes.
It's incredible. It's incredible when you know you have this power and you take it. So yeah, write down your goals 2 times a day, morning and night. So when you go to sleep, you have instilled it in your mind to think about all night. Read them, each goal separately, and really think about them in a deep visual manner with feeling and detail, and then take action. That I hope people can really push and test it.
I believe it because it does work, because even with the vision boards, I want to implement more what you were saying, but just starting with the vision boards, I've done it. I didn't look at it for a while, and I went back and I'm checking off all the things that have been answered, and I'm just like, amazing. It was really inspiring, and it encouraged your faith to keep dreaming and going after it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I have to, stretch it more because I have goals, and I have to remove the doubt, remove those little doubts and looking at all the little details of how to get there and just trust. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. You don't know how you're getting there. And that's the fun part. It can be frustrating. It can create self-doubt, but if you start feeling self-doubt, you're on the right path.
Yes. Oh, what else do you have to share before we close?
Well, something that just came up. It's something that I just started doing that my wife has been practicing.
Yes.
And I did it yesterday. I was in the middle of a conservation area. What she taught me was how to ask questions to the universe, right? To infinite intelligence or whatever we want to call it, the energy source, the vortex. There's so many different words and names for it all. But you ask a question, right? It has to be a definite yes or no kind of question. And you ask the answer to be brought to you in the form of something. I've done this. This is to be my 3rd time, and they've all worked.
Oh my gosh.
All worked. And yesterday, here I am in the middle of a conservation area. I'm biking, doing my 12 miles, and I'm just stopped to enjoy the nature, sounds, watching the birds, and looking for alligators, actually, where I'm at. I thought this is a perfect time. My mind's calm. Let's ask a question. And I wanted to make sure that I'm on the right path.
Yes.
That where I'm going is going to help provide massive service to help people.
I like that.
So, of course, I did it in more detail. I said, if I am, show me an eagle. So something totally big. And there is eagles in our area. I've seen one since I've been here, and I've been here over a year. And I thought, okay, well, I'm in an area with an eagle. Maybe that's why I chose an eagle, thinking, okay, show me it now. Show me it now. And I say, I want to know this within 24 hours because I want the answer. I don't want to wait forever. I want to, am I on the right path? Tell me now. So get home, everything, you forget about these questions you ask. You try and remember them. And I would say, write it down. Because when you do get the answer, you go, what did I say?
Right.
What did I say? Oh, how did I say it? How did I say it? Did I want this or did I not? Was it a yes or was it a no? Oh my God, because that's what happened on the first couple. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot what I said because I didn't think it was going to happen. But this time, happened yesterday. So here we are, it's coming near the end of the night and, we're getting our little boy ready for bed and we pull out books so we can read to him. And I open up the one book and boom, there's the eagle.
Oh my God.
I said, babe, I asked a question today and it was an eagle and I keep getting my answers from my son's books.
I love it.
And there was and that means I am on the right path. It told me, yes, you're on the right path with your art and your service and everything that you're doing, everything that I feel I'm doing. I wanted to make sure, right? Like you need a needle, you need to guide yourself, you need a compass, you need to adjust, because you don't want to go off too far and go, oh, I went the wrong way. You want to, have these, it's just something added that people can utilize, like yourself. But it's happened a few times. Like the first one, I asked for a tiger. It's funny, I'm asking for these big animals, but I wanted things that aren't really normal, right? My wife went out and she got books for my son from the library, came back, and then I went and looked at the books and boom, one of the books was about tigers. And I was like, it's just incredible.
Love it.
And it happens to her all the time. She does it all the time. I interviewed this lady and she asked for dimes because you see pennies everywhere. And then all of a sudden now she's seeing dimes everywhere. So it filters in with that, I'm sure, with the RAS, but you're attracting that answer, your infinite intelligence, your vortex, your energy flow. We're connected to everything. And it's bringing us that information to say yes or no.
Yes.
Whatever you want. Well, what are you looking for the sign? If it is a yes, I want this. If it is no, either nothing or give me this or something, right? But yeah, it was impressive, incredible. It's something I'm starting to use. I've used it 3 times now. So it's fun at the same time. But I think the tough part is asking the right question.
Yes. I
think we as humans struggle when we're asked questions that make us think deep. Maybe it's something that, I know I definitely need to keep feeling and learning from. And when you read these books of these amazing people, a lot of it's about questions.
Yes.
How do you ask the right question? When you're coaching someone, you need to ask the right question to pull out the right answer from within them.
Correct.
Right? So when you do it to yourself, you need to ask the right questions to pull out what you need to help you, guide you, grow you, whatever it is. But yeah, that was a little extra bonus there.
Well, please thank her. That was so rich. That was so good. And I will leave all the information on where everyone can find you because I enjoy your shows. I really enjoy your podcast. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate being on here.
Yes. And thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And
oh, that's okay.
Thank you so much. And this has been such an enjoyable episode with Robert Timmons. And I will leave all his information in the show notes. And until next time, I'm Rhonda Jennifer. Thank you.